Intro.
Intro. Disclaimer, first of all, state of the world, yes, COVID, tyrants, etc. We are awaiting the results, the wrapping up of the American election, but we're not gonna think about that right now. We're just gonna vibe and talk about video games. All content used in this podcast episode is transformative, therefore it does not abuse copyright. It's all fair game here. Don't come for us, YouTube. But then again, if you've been here watching content on YouTube, you know how everybody gotta walk on eggshells, and we don't really hold ourselves. So if this video get demonetized because we said a bad word or used like 10 seconds of a video clip or a song, let's not be surprised. You can become a patron to support this podcast by following the link you will find in the description, and we're also going to talk more about this by the end of this podcast. Next, personal opinion. Of course, this is a podcast. It's about gaming mostly, okay? So it's not that serious. It's not that deep. It's about it's video games, okay? And it's personal opinions. Let's recognize that we might disagree. Let's agree to disagree, but like, let's not tell anyone to KYS on the comments section. Come on, it's 2020. Yeah, figure that out. Kill yourself. Yeah, we're better than that. Also, almost lastly, safe space. Everyone is welcome here. No matter what is your background, this is a safe space to express your your own thoughts and opinions. Except, of course, if you are a bigot, you may as well try, but you're gonna get blocked. I have a lot of fun with it. I love blocking people. It's like my favorite hobby. So, like, if you want to be that person, have fun. I'm gonna have fun. It's a good time. And with that, we're finished with the disclaimers.
Boom. Finally.
Boom. Today's podcast episode theme is unpopular opinions.
Yay!
Dun. More specifically, unpopular gaming opinions. But before we dive into that, just one more thing. I want to take a quick read at the last podcast's comments that you lovely readers, you lovely
Thank you for the
listeners / viewers left for us. Okay, let me bring the page up. We have Chiam Randall said, very entertaining. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lucas Figueiredo said, we stand the gamer queen and king.
Woo! Yes.
We're very flattered. We're very flattered. Thank you. I declare you our prince then. Lucas Figueiredo. Jamie said, love it, and a lot of exclamation points. Hell yeah.
Yay! Thank you, Jamie, for the comment. Love you too.
Sabrina said, wow, such a great podcast. That's all I wanted all my life. OMG. Thank you, Sabrina.
Wow, so original. That comment, so original. Wow.
We gotta thank Sabrina. Yeah, she's our number one fan. Uh, and then JC, he left a think piece for us, so let's get through it. Personal opinion time regarding Blizzard and the gaming industry. Blizzard, to me, it really feels like Blizzard comes up with some stunning visuals. However, if they don't dedicate a person to develop a character, that character ends up being like Zenyatta. The only reason Soldier 76/Jack has any backstory is that Michael Chu took time and effort to flesh him out. Otherwise, Jack would be an incredibly bland character. I agree on that one hard. Blizzard as a whole sucks at coming up with cohesive storylines, and if for some reason they do intersect or align, high chances are it's pure coincidence. Wow, that was some hot tea right there, and I have to agree with everything. B. Gaming industry. Funnily enough, this does tie into my beef with Blizzard. Even if/when I want to play their game, they're not casual friendly at all. I have a 9-to-5 job. When I get home, I want to switch my brain off and have some fun. But when everything is about grinding and competitiveness, it sucks the fun and joy out of it. The industry in general should acknowledge what a casual gamer really is instead of thinking they're pro gamer light. I also think the industry itself would benefit if games were not only tested for bugs, but for the general flow of the game's story, etc. My final thoughts, opinions is that hiring sensitivity consultants would also help. And I don't mean that everything should be politically correct, but since we live in a digital age, there really is no excuse for misinterpreting, tripped on that one, misinterpreting genders, sexes, races, ethnic groups, and minorities. And this is why I never played Persona 5, because if a game's central theme is about society shunning people and labeling others deviants for not fitting in, then why the fuck are LGBTQ plus characters fetishized or depicted as sexual predators? Okay, we have a lot to unpack here. On the part B of the comment, they say, yeah, I totally agree. I want to add on that. I am kind of in between a casual and a competitive player in Overwatch. I don't find myself to be a competitive gamer in general, because I feel like those people are usually playing fighting games online, Smash, all sorts of shooting games. They really like this human PV. They really like this PvP dynamic, and that was never my thing. Overwatch, I think it's the first time I've ever dived into PvP. Yeah. But there's so many people. I think for the majority of people I know that know what Overwatch is, they know what it is, but they don't play it. They like the characters, they keep up with the artwork, the skins, they watch the cinematics, but they don't want to touch the game because the game is just there's just so much stress on being better than everyone else and competing, and it's pretty hardcore. It's a first-person shooter after all. So yeah, I do agree. I think Overwatch 2 is their attempt at making the game more casual friendly. But then again, as you said, if they don't hire people that can deliver on the character and storytelling, which is also the biggest pull from Overwatch, I feel like, why would you be playing Overwatch instead of any Counter-Strike game? Because the Overwatch has this quirky universe and these quirky characters that are so captivating, and you want to know more about them because they're so unique. They're not just some Jilly Bob Joe in an army suit. They're like so unique. But then they don't deliver with the story. And lastly, I have to do a hard degree on the Persona 5 thing too, because I really like the theme. I really like the idea. I really think we could use a game about breaking social norms, but I don't think Persona delivered in that aspect as best as it could. But I think that's most to fault because of the writers being old men who probably don't really have any clue of what living like a teenager who is different from the norm. They don't know what that's like. They can only suppose. Even if they went around on the field asking teenagers what their life is like, they would just look like creeps. So maybe they should hire someone for that. I don't know. But anyway, the game is already out. They did what they did. Next one.
Wait, I now I have an opinion, but yeah, I played the game from start to finish, and I agree with that part with how they depicted gay people. It was like horrendous. But for me, the game was enjoyable for other reasons, and that's pretty much it. But I completely agree that they should hire people to have the feeling of how life is in that aspect, like in Persona case is the student life, and bring more diversity like they did in previous titles. Why didn't they do in this time? And the game is amazing in the aspects of how fun it is, but to be honest with you, the character development wasn't that great.
Sometimes I think they were geniuses because okay, that's a discussion. Can we have like a Persona debate some other time?
Yeah,
Maybe I'll circle back into it during this stream because we're about to dive into some unpopular opinions right now.
That's it for the comments. Yay! Many comments. I was very happy with the number.
Oh yeah, which brings me also, let me just add this. I'm very proud that we hit more than 100 views, 106 at the time of this recording. I know it sounds like such a small number comparing to every other YouTube on your subscription feed, but we don't care. This is a passion project. And let me ask right here, right now, can we hit on this episode 120? Okay, let's not be crazy. We hit 100. Now I want 120. Can we do that, guys? Can we do that? I'm gonna love you all so much if we do it. Share to your friends.
Share, give thumbs ups, subscribe, and click on the little bell so you get notifications when we are trying to get this podcast every week, and it's 100% passion. But also, if we can get this to full-time jobs, you can't wait for our content. We have so many ideas.
Yes.
And to do that, go to our Patreon. Donate.
If you cannot, of course, you don't have to. Just spreading around the word of the podcast helps a lot.
Yep. And
it doesn't have to be much. And it's all about if this podcast reaches a lot of people, bit by bit, we can get there. Yeah, Sabrina, can you please, before we read our first popular opinion, actually I'm gonna read it and you're gonna get it. Our first unpopular opinion for this stream is from La Creatura at DeathClawBF, and they say, Diva isn't ugly because her color scheme works super well.
I've heard many times that she's ugly and blah blah blah, but to be honest with you, the frogs in Animal Crossing are one of my favorite animals. Oh my god, I saw just an image that it's so fucking funny.
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about because I'm looking also.
Oh my god, I'm gonna share my screen with you and then you can show this in the podcast.
Of course, okay.
Wait. Can you see?
It's a green background and the face is also... Yep, exactly. The face is all squished.
So yeah, Diva from Animal Crossing is super cute. I like her skin color as well. And I think she has a Diva personality, right?
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I don't remember right now if it's like the big sister or the Uchi.
Uchi. Uchi is big sister. I don't have anything against her. I think she's cute.
Yeah, I think she's cute too. So, looking at her, I'm getting, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm getting very much like a Golden Girls kind of vibe.
Oh PP Mac, you dumb bitch. Golden Girls is the classic TV show from 1985. What you mean to say is Dreamgirls.
Her dress and her makeup and her hair and is very disco vibes.
True.
So yeah, whoever said Diva's ugly, they're wrong. Okay, stop being that's animalism or whatever. I don't like it. Diva is precious. At Pigeon Pantonium says games like The Sims or Pokemon that lack real competition in their genre really feel like the team behind it isn't trying too much because they know they will be a success. Pokemon has been kinda lazy.
Yeah, that's true.
And The Sims, like the last one, they didn't even have pools and babies when they released the game.
But this is actually a marketing choice, I believe, on the publisher side. I don't think it's on the developers, to be honest with you. It's not like they are not putting effort, but when the game gets to the point of release, the marketing people or the publisher makes those decisions. But anyway, it's because you should understand a little bit how the game is made, but I understand that where it comes from, because when the customer get the product, he wants a full product, and if he doesn't get it, then they are lazy. The people making the game are lazy. But yeah, I don't know. It's tricky to measure how lazy they are. I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, I think that in particular has a complexity on its own, because games have deadlines, and then they always take longer to develop than the estimated. That's a given that I've learned with all of my years of game dev. However much you plan for your game and you think how long it's gonna be for you to finish, at least triple that amount. That's how long it's gonna be. Yeah. At least triple your estimate. It's just not gonna be done as fast as you think, because at the point where you're conceptualizing a game, you have no idea of the challenges that are just gonna sprout in your way. And there's so many.
This person talked about something about competition.
I think what they meant, at first I was confused because I thought competitiveness in the game, but I think they meant in the genre, as in because there aren't many games like The Sims that do what the Sims do. They dominate this genre, because as far as life simulation with house building, I guess you could say you could play Animal Crossing, but like it's not the same thing.
It doesn't get not the same thing
at all.
But it can be considered in the same genre, life simulation. Yeah.
But the only thing that really lets you like create this fantasy world, like with the characters that you want, living this life that you want to play around with, like literally like dollhouse kind of way, create family dramas, create entire legacies. That's really something that only The Sims have been delivering since forever in this genre, so they totally dominate that. And I do believe because of that, just as with Pokemon, there's like Digimon or whatever other, like what's that, Yokai Watch, and even Monster Hunter has been trying to get into that thing, into that.
Really?
Like, I haven't seen to the 3DS. There's like this monster collecting, Master of Monsters kind of vibe game. So
never heard of it.
Never see the marketing is not really good for that one, I guess. But
it's not great.
It's already to be released. Like the sequel it's coming to the Switch. But it's like you control like a kid who tames monsters, which is so contradictory to the game itself, because you have this one game where all you do is go around killing them, and then you release a game where you're a kid making friends with them and raising them and showing how much they like feel just like any other human or animal would, like they're sensible creatures that can love you, and you can have
so not lore friendly.
That is not lore friendly, because how are you telling me that kid is supposed to grow up and go around killing these animals? Like, what?
Yeah, this is the kind of training you give to soldiers. Like, I think it was in the Game of Thrones
Seriously?
books
Wow.
that they show how they train the Unsullied, or was it in the German army? I don't know. I'm mixing two things. But this
the
kind
contrast.
of
Wait, was
But
that the Unsullied or the German army? I'm not sure. Like, yikes.
But it's one of the others. It's because I don't want to say that this was true when it's not, because it's something very serious. It reminds me of when they give a puppy to the soldier, and he has to take care of that puppy, and after the training is over, he has to kill the puppy. The puppy that he grew and then did, because then they have to become very strong, no empathy soldiers, because they will have to kill people in the battlefield. So I may be wrong. It's not in the German army, but I'm almost sure that it was.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and this thing with the Monster Hunter remind me of that. Like, you're taming the little Rathian Rathalos, and you're my friend. And when you get adult, you see your dad or your mom going hunting, and they come back with this strange looking armor that looked just like your little Rathian, and I was like, And when the kid grows up, he has to kill his friends.
It's crazy. It's. I really didn't get that as when I saw the first one and now the sequel's coming out. Oh yeah, and you raise them like since they're eggs too. There's like whole cutscenes of like, you gotta protect this egg because there's a baby inside of it and it's gonna be your friend. And it's like, this is not the right universe to be doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you
literally slaughter them alive.
if any of cut them to pieces. If any of you guys listening have actually played these Monster Hunters, can you explain to us if it's like during a different era or something? Is there any explanation for this dissonance? Because I'm worried.
I don't think so. Maybe it was a game they wanted children to get to play Monster Hunter. I don't know.
That's a traumatizing way to ease children into the universe, but okay. And since we're talking about Pokemon, Carlo Sesca left us this comment that says Pokemon should be handled by other companies than Game Freak to develop better games, and toys should not be a consideration in the game development.
What? What is this person talking about? Like, they make money out of their games and you're telling them to not make toys out of their product? Well, I don't agree with you. But what was the first point again?
The first point is that other people besides Game Freak should do the games, make
why?
games.
I'm just wondering, why is this person even considering this? Why put
I agree with
game that has... Really?
Yeah, because Game Freak is still trying to do video game Pokemon like they were doing 30 years ago. That's the problem.
Yeah, but I think like you just hire new people, give new ideas. You don't need to put that, because it's their product, it's their franchise. They created it. They have the right to it.
Oh, but they could.
It's like
have a studio develop the games and still make all of the profit.
Yeah, I guess. I don't. Yeah, it's. I just don't.
I don't think they
agree with
will.
that.
I don't think Pokemon will ever not abuse merch, because it's just not happening. But I do agree that if Game Freak cannot create a team, a development team that is interested in really innovating Pokemon, if all they can do is take the coding that they've been using for every Pokemon since Red, Blue, and Yellow, and Green, or whatever the hell, then yeah, just have the copyright of the franchise, right? Do like J.K. Rowling did. Well, not really, because she still had very much a tight grip on the movies that kept coming out. But as far as like the theme park went, she just said, take my property, make me money. That's something that Game Freak could do. Just take my property, make me money. And then, I don't know. Like, for instance, you have games like the Pokken Tournament, which is a fighting game. Have you ever seen that? The fighting games of Pokemon?
I heard of it, but I never played it at all.
Yeah. They're not at all Pokemon games. They're just fighting games that you fight with Pokemon, but they, for instance, is a game that's not made by Game Freak, but I'm pretty sure Game Freak got a pretty good slice of the profits that game made. But yeah, in that aspect, I do agree. But toys are definitely coming. We're gonna give a space to the most people that we can during this podcast, but PH and Pantonio also left another really good comment saying, I also really hate the mainstream versus indies debate, as in indie games are better than mainstream. Both have their restrictions and limitations.
Indie against so this person doesn't like the debate indie against AAA.
I think he's just saying that we shouldn't compare these two things because they're two different monsters entirely. It's just like apples and oranges. Indies should be viewed under a different context than AAA games.
I don't know. A game is a game, and if you have fun with it, it's a good game. It doesn't matter if it's AAA or indie. I think it's fine for me to compare them. I really have no problem with that.
Yeah, me neither. The thing is, I think it's interesting that they say indie is better than mainstream, because that's kind of an opinion that I have. Not in the sense like, how can I say this? It's clearly an unfair comparison if I'm looking at stuff at like I don't know, production value. But I'm definitely
assets and that kind of shit.
I'm biased toward indies because I'm so usually salty of how big industries stifle creativeness. And indies just get to be more flavorful, and I crave that a lot. That's it. That's the only time where I go like, oh, indies are better than mainstream, but not in that way. Did that make sense?
I get you.
But yeah, that's a good take.
You want more creativity.
Yeah, that's because I'm biased towards like creativity in games. But everybody seeks different things from games, and to each their own, of course. Yeah.
Wait, I have something to add.
Yes,
on
please
this.
do.
First, I never thought about it. To be honest, this is the first time I thought about comparing indie with AAA, because as a player, I just go there. If the game is good, as I said before, if it's good, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna tell my friends, you need to play. My friends, it's just Pedro, you all know about that. Oh, my friends, my gamer friends. Well, actually, it's just one. And we usually share the same taste. And
We're in
sometimes
an echo
not.
chamber. That's what we're saying, but not so much. We have disagreements. Just you wait.
Yes. But I forgot my point now. Indie, yeah. Sometimes when I tend to like better the AAA games because you see that they are more round. Their idea is there and it was well executed. Sometimes when I get an indie game, I'm not talking about all indie games, some indie game because I play some weird shit. It doesn't feel like it has everything in place. Like for example, one of the games I love until a certain point. It's like House Flipper. It's a game where you just how do you call it?
Never heard of it.
Fix houses and make them more beautiful, like clean and fix the house so you can sell it or on a request of a person. It's super fun, but it's super indie, and you can see it was a very low budget on that game. Like that point of view when you move the camera and things, they change the perspective, that kind of thing that it looks like it came straight from the 3D modeling tool. That kind of thing I don't like. Another thing, like in the game, I'm not sure if that what's the name of that game, Pedro, that you played? It's an RPG that's kind of like Dragon Age ish, but you didn't like it at all, and
oh
your
my god,
character
Greedfall.
Greedfall. Is that an indie game? Is that considered an indie
Good
game?
question. I don't think so.
Or is it mid ground? Because that one I played a little bit, and
that's midway. I think indies are like Undertale, Spelunky, Rogue Galaxy. Rogue Galaxy. No, rewind. That's level 5 big budget RPG from the PSU. I meant 5. Rogue something. Sorry, I'm not gonna read. Rogue Dungeon, Rogue Adventure, something. What else? Oh well, Among Us. I guess it's an indie.
Yeah, but these ones, they look also like very well-rounded games.
Yes, nowadays
there's some.
Oh, you know what? Which one? This one you love? Journey. That
Journey. Oh,
all games from that company are indie.
Yes, Journey, Flower, Flow. Oh my god, I want more games from them, and they're probably not indie anymore because I believe they made a lot of money.
Yeah, but by this point they could probably have a big studio, but when they made
that gaming company, I think it's the name of the company.
Yeah, when they made Journey, I think they were definitely indie.
Yeah, definitely. And I played the game before that, two games before Journey, which was Flower and Flow. I liked Flower more because for me it was such a different experience where you move the controller to move and you are the wind. For me that thing was mind fucking blowing, and it's so good, and there is a story being told with not a single word. Not a tiny single word, nothing. Anybody from anywhere in the world can play that game and they will get it. The same for Journey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why sometimes I'm biased toward indies. Exactly because of that artistic liberty that so many times you can't risk on AAA because you gotta be pandering, you gotta make that cash back. But anywho, moving on to the next take. @_Roy G Biv_ or Chris the Dingbat said Skyward Sword was good. Now,
what game?
Sabrina, do you know what that is?
No, I have no clue what game that is.
Skyward Sword is one of the Zelda titles, and I'm gonna leave that debate for the people in the comment section because I am also a Zelda heretic. The only games I've played was the Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. a little bit of the Nintendo 64 ones, just a little bit of Majora Mask and a little bit of Ocarina of Time. I really appreciate those games, but never really went through all the way to the end. I know what happens, but I not played myself. And lastly, Breath of the Wild was the only Zelda game that I thoroughly played from beginning to end, and I still remember everything.
I still haven't finished.
So I have no opinion on Skyward Sword. Sorry, but apparently,
It's for the Wii.
yeah, apparently it's not very popular in the fan base. A lot of people don't like
And
it.
it seems like not even Nintendo likes this game because I never heard of it. I never even seen this Zelda design, which I really like. She really looks like what I would think an elf looks like.
Oh yeah,
and I
Zelda from
really
Skyward Sword is beautiful.
Wow, I really love it, but I have no
Very
clue
Galadriel
what that
vibes,
is.
right?
Yes. I really love it. Oh my god, I fucking love this design.
Yeah, it's a really
But-
popular iteration of Zelda. It's even the model they use on the Smash games, I believe.
Ah. Yeah, never heard. Sorry, have no opinion.
No opinion. So that leads us.
Nope, no popular opinion or unpopular.
We're gonna owe you that one. Next. This is gonna be a debate and a half. Because at the Banana Punch says, people, quote unquote, people don't have time for grinding. Is the worst excuse ever to destroy the MMO community and make game easier and less interactive and all homogeneous, as in all classes are the same, as in they level up the same and there is no competition.
I don't think that this opinion, like you said, like it doesn't affect the industry at all. I really don't think that grinding will end because a bunch of people said we don't have time for grinding. There are still plenty of games that has loads of grinding, and MMORPGs are pure grind. So I do not agree with you.
Well, and yeah, that is truly an unpopular opinion because this is what we want. So if we disagree with you, actually, you're winning in this podcast because it's an unpopular opinion podcast. And if we share the same opinion that you do, maybe that opinion is not so unpopular. But yeah, I also have to disagree. I am an old bastard and I don't have time for grinding. Okay, I don't have time for grinding.
I ain't got no time.
And I still grind. I still grind. I'm playing Genshin Impact every day like it's my job and religion. And on Final Fantasy XIV, I have several characters on. Like I digress. Let me correct myself. Not several characters, but my character has several jobs maxed out. More than half of the jobs in the game. No, I guess not that much, but I'm almost there. I've been grinding. That's my point. But God, I wish I could just grind less. But then again, I'm just here to enjoy the story and get pretty outfits. I'm not here for the savage challenges and super high stat endgame stuff. You know?
As a person who works a 9 to 5 job, actually it's 10 to 6. I think that grinding can get in the way of me playing the game, but if I really enjoy the game, it's not gonna get in the way. I will grind regardless. I will, because it depends. It really depends on how the game makes me feel, but this is me and my opinion and my take on grinding. I really don't have not a single game that I said there's grinding, I'm not gonna play. Never, ever. I actually feel like it's a challenge because once you grind, but it depends on the grind. Once you grind enough and then get what you need, damn, that feels good. That feels so good.
Yeah, I feel hard worked.
There is so much you can do. Like, if it's too much grinding, then it's just not fun anymore. Like, there is you talked about Final Fantasy XIV. There is the Eureka instance. That thing is as grindy as it gets, you can spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours plus more hours doing a very boring grind, and it's not even fun. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again to get one armor that looks actually really good, and I've seen several peoples with those armors. But once I tried that grind, I was like, this is a challenge, I'm gonna do it. And I'm like, I did once and never did it anymore because it's too much. There is too much grind for me.
Yeah, Eureka,
but it depends on the game.
But Eureka was definitely that content that was there for people that already exhausted the game's content, but they still want to play Final Fantasy XIV. They don't want to play something else. They want to be in 14 and they want to do stuff. So they just created that hellhole.
Yeah.
and said, go then, go. It's insane.
It's pretty good.
It's insane because
really nice.
At the time it debuted, you would find like hundreds of players inside those instances. It was crazy. But nowadays you can barely find a big team, I think.
Yeah, I think nobody wants that shit because it's too much.
And it's
too
been
much.
done already.
Pedro, in the editing, put the armor on the picture and the video because then people will understand why people would grind.
Yes, sure. At Mistress of Yahweh said, Pokemon is more fun offline.
Does this person mean? Is she comparing Pokemon Go with normal Pokemon? Is that it?
No.
Or...
I think it's because there's a competitive online scene for Pokemon.
I barely touched it, and it's so the online thing. I just get my ass kicked, like for real. I never had my ass so served to myself as in a Pokemon online. Jesus, that thing, I just played it once or twice, I guess, and never more. And I agree with this person. Yeah, offline it's a lot better.
Yes, I agree. I just grind my way through the full Pokédex, which I did once. I think I mentioned this in the past podcast because It's been this many episodes since Sabrina mentioned that she has a full Pokédex.
Yes, but sad story is that I lost the whole Pokédex because I got the corrupted save.
Oh my god,
yeah,
you did not say that in the first episode. That's new information.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
RIP.
But yeah, I have the picture of my full Pokédex to prove that I actually did. And but I think I will never do that again. maybe, who knows?
Yeah, if Nintendo makes it easier, offline. That's the thing. But I don't think they're Pokemon Nintendo. I can say Nintendo, it's as in Game Freak, right? It will depend if they want us to have all the Pokemons or not. But yeah, I am also because here's the thing. Me and Sabrina, we are very much as casual Pokemon players as they can be, I believe. Yeah, Sabrina did grind for the Pokédex. I tried it, but didn't get there. Unfortunately, I am very jealous of this achievement because it's a dream achievement for any Pokemon master. But yeah, first of all, the competitive Pokemon scene, just the EV and IV grind, the whole breeding for stats is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. If you know what I'm talking about, you know how insane it is. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't even look. Just believe me. Just take my word for it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It takes hours upon hours of investment of your time of just walking around because you are hatching eggs for the perfect stat combo. And then there you have sites upon websites dedicated to the best movesets to use for combat advantage. So you have this competitive scenario that is also very formulaic because nobody's doing anything except copy strategies from Simogo.com or whatever. So there's no fun in that for me at all. I just want to collect my cute Pokemon. I don't want to care about stats.
You just want your dream, your dream team.
Yeah, I just wanna walk around with my dream team, beating people up. At Huffing the Night, hi. Big fan of your art. Thanks for leaving a comment, precious boy. He said, I like Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy XIII, LOL.
Bad. Wait. Sorry. A little sleep in the tongue. Final Fantasy VIII. I heard many people liking it, so it's not that unpopular. Sorry. But the Final Fantasy 13, that is an unpopular opinion. To like that shit? Jeez, what's wrong with you, bruv?
Final Fantasy 8. Also need to play that game fully again so I can have a good opinion on it. I'm gonna be honest, the last time I really played it, I was too young. My understanding of English was beginner level. Very like I knew what fire and that was it. Item, I knew that those words. Potion, start game, new game, I knew what that meant. But as far as character dialogue, that would shoo right over my head. Sorry. So I pretty much would play entire RPGs just for the sake of like looking at cool magic and listening to cool soundtracks and looking at cool CGI from Square Enix. Oh well, Square Soft at the time.
Squaresoft.
But yeah, Final Fantasy 13. Here's the thing. Hear me out. I like it under the very specific context of watching the cutscenes on YouTube as if I'm watching some sort of like Final Fantasy verse telenovela.
Oh.
Because
okay.
the story is so ridiculous and cheesy. But it's kind of like, it's so ridiculous that I kind of like it. But don't make me play it.
Yeah,
I can't play it.
The story.
I like the story,
For
under a comedic lens of like, wow, look at these characters.
Oh my god, I remember one of the characters. What was his name? The boy.
Oh, Hope.
No, Snow also what?
Hope.
Jesus, I hated that boy. Jesus Christ, that boy irritated me. But I think most characters, if not all of the characters, irritated me.
Right?
And I couldn't wait to just leave that shit and not play it anymore. Because first, Lightning is way too edgelord, badassy, Mary Sue. Like Square Enix is really tried to push her everywhere, show her everywhere, put her outfit everywhere. In every single game, you'll get a Lightning outfit. After
you know what that
Final
means.
Fantasy 13.
It's Lightning. We don't even have to beat around the bush. Lightning is Girl Cloud. So when Cloud is when Cloud is not being the face of Final Fantasy, Lightning is. He's like the appeal for girls. I don't know what they're thinking. I do appreciate Lightning at some sense, cause like, but here's the thing, to appreciate any character from Final Fantasy 13, you have to come from a place of cheesiness. But Lightning is almost one of the most believable characters from 13 because you would also be grumpy like she is if you had to be around Snow and Sarah on a daily basis.
Yes, Sarah.
You would be so fed up with their bullshit because Sarah is just like, antics. I'm such a teenager. I'm gonna do whatever I want. You can't boss me around. You're not my mom, Lightning. And she's crazy. And Snow is just like the himboest of himbos. He's so dumb.
Oh my god,
so
I hated Snow as well.
Yeah.
Jeez, he's
a himbo, but
muscles.
not in a charming way. He's a himbo in the annoying way. In like, please shut up and go away way. I pretty much see Snow like Lightning sees Snow. Like, you shouldn't be even hitting on my sister. Do you realize how the optics of this relationship. You look like a creep hanging out with my sister like that. Like, who proposes? How old is Sarah? Too young to be proposed to. That's...
I have no clue.
Anywho, I'm gonna digress. But like, that's kind of exactly the kind of the drama that makes a soap opera awesome. Because it's like, how ridiculous is that? That this is the kind of drama that we're getting from a Final Fantasy game. Like, the same franchise that talked about, you know, the death of the planet because of capitalism and how religion is a lie and it manipulates people and it's used as a tool for warmongering. It's so heavy loaded with its subjects, and then you have this total novella from Final Fantasy 13. Help, my little sister has been turned into a crystal. Anyway, next one, I think this might be easy breezy. At Video Game Free Red, they say battle royales are boring.
Ooh, agree 100%.
Yeah, I also have to agree 100%.
Agree. But I think it's because the genre has been overdone already. I played a couple of battle royales and it got boring for me real quick, and I cannot imagine playing that thing over and over again like many streamers do. And it's just like the same thing. It's literally the same thing, the same map, and people doing the same thing over and over again. What the fuck?
Well,
I don't get it. I really don't get it. But people like it. And I agree with this person 100%, and I think it is an unpopular opinion because so many people play it.
Yeah, I guess at this point we could say that there's a whole generation that grew up with battle royales. I wouldn't even say there are so many battle royales, but it's just the way that Fortnite has been in our faces so much for... It's just like, okay, enough of it. We're good, mate. It's next one. So yeah, I also agree. Battle royales is just we're good. We're ready. Society
maybe
evolved.
It's for younger people, I guess. We are too old for this shit.
Oh, every game is an exercise in repetition, but I guess it's all about good repetition. I guess flavorful,
and
enjoyable.
how they dose it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna take a little break. Everyone go refill your cups, go to the bathroom, grab your water. Well, I already said that when I said refill your cups. Anyway, do whatever you're gonna do. Be back in a minute. At Noble Absinthe said, games have become so drenched in their own self-hating, greedy drudgery, the joy of the early 90s, 2000s have been snuffed out like the last bit of cocaine on Al Pacino's desk. Games used to have saturated colors, happiness, and were fun. Now it's all guns, edge, overcompensation.
I don't know where you take your games from, but there are still plenty of games that are full of color. Like, for example, Flower and Journey that we mentioned early. Even Pokemon is very colorful, and it's not Guns and Edge only. You should just broaden your horizons, my brother. Because you're yes, I agree with you. There are many games that are this. It's this Guns Edge Lord kind of thing that it's for the man to feel more manly, that kind of shit. And not my thing either. But there are so many games that are just magic. And I think you're just not looking in the right place. Just get yourself into other genres other than FPS and that kind of thing, I guess.
Buy a Nintendo console. I guess that's it.
Yeah, Nintendo console, yes.
Because I think that's exactly where they must be coming from. Because when you look at the Sony Xbox PC gaming scene, like if you were out there to buy like this new graphic card, it is very likely that when you turn around the box, you're gonna see like some dude with a gun, or how many times the game that is used to propel the first sales of a new console will often be Uncharted kind of game, where you got this dude going around guns a-blazing and so many things are happening at once. But colorful games are still out there and thriving, especially like the JRPG scene. It's very colorful.
Yeah.
Very.
Yep.
I think you just gotta look in the right places.
Yeah, just looking at my library here, I can point out at least 5 games that are colorful and easygoing, let's say, like that. It is casual, like I mentioned this game in the last podcast, Ni no Kuni. It's from like the part of the creation of this game was based in the works of Studio Ghibli. Do you want more colorful and more magical than that? No. Just look at the right place. That's it.
At Eggboy25 says, microtransactions and some paywalls aren't that bad. At the end of the day, that money is your choice to put into the game. As for DLC/paywalls, I will gladly pay a fraction of the game's full price for even more of the game's content.
I agree and disagree at the same time with this opinion. First, yes, it's your money and you decide if you're gonna pay or not, and also it is good for the developers, or I don't know, for the people involved in the creation of games, that they will keep on getting some income from that game. But then again, this kind of kills the industry in the ways of when you want to just play a story, for example. Red Dead Redemption wouldn't exist if it was full of DLCs and stuff, parts of the story that you need to buy to know the story. I would hate it if there was
what
DLC
about
for Red Dead.
Life is Strange, where you gotta buy each chapter to experience the full game?
You just wait until the game is released fully. That's what I did. Actually, I want to play Life is Strange too. Sorry. I think at least in Life is Strange you pay one price. It's gonna be just that price. But I think this person talked about the when you have too much content inside of the game. That requires you to buy it constantly to get somewhere. I don't know. Not exactly sure.
No. What they said is that they don't mind they don't mind paying a fraction of the game's full price for even more content. And that they don't find microtransactions so bad. As far as my opinion goes on that, I think at first there was definitely a lot of resistance, but I think at this point it's just a part of the industry now, and I think that goes for a lot of things. As time goes on and everything evolves and branches out and new stuff starts becoming a part of the thing. So everyday DLCs and paywalls and microtransactions become more and more ingrained as part of the gaming industry. But I think as far as it doesn't feel exploitative and it justifies, because making games is, by the end of the day, one of the most expensive industries out there. Not to say probably the most expensive industry, maybe just going against like Hollywood stuff. So like there's so many people. Just can you imagine how many people gotta get paid to make a Final Fantasy game? I'm talking artists, renderers, voice actors, musicians, like composers, like localization testers, quality control. It's just so many people. All of these people gotta get paid. So like think about it. You're paying $60 for a full game. That's not even a single person's salary. So I'm not saying these games don't make more than enough to pay all of their workers really well, and some probably should do that better. But like, if that's something I say a lot, especially when I'm talking about this subject with Sabrina. If a game it's something that brings me joy, I don't mind giving them my money at all, because it's my entertainment. Link 50222236 left us. This is his username is gonna take longer than the take itself. He just said, "Shooting games suck." Winky face.
Oh, ooh. Bruv, I agree.
I agree too. FPS is
well,
not for me.
Yeah, it's not my thing, but well, I understand the joy of playing it. And for example, we play a lot of Overwatch, but it's not just shooting, and we barely touch the characters that actually hold a normal gun.
Exactly.
But I understand why it's so popular, because oh my god, I'm better than this person, gonna go and kill them and then teabag them and blah blah. I understand why people like it so much.
But that's exactly it.
Yeah, it is that kind of vibe. It is this. And it's not my thing. Just like this person, I'm with you.
Yes.
But that's not the majority of the gaming
scenario, the gaming
audience.
scene, yeah.
Most people like that kind of thing. I think it's because of the superiority take on these games, because you are killing somebody else, something that you cannot do in real life. Don't do that, please.
Please.
and
unless we're talking about Voldemort, you can kill him. It's fine. You know who I'm talking about. Voldemort has gotta go.
Yeah.
But like anyone else, do not. Just Voldemort.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very unpopular opinion when you say this kind of thing. You're probably gonna make a lot of people angry. But this and that, but this game is good, but because this and that, they will defend those games till the fucking end, and you will still look quote unquote stupid for not liking them. But I'm with you.
I think they're safe with our audience. A lot of our listeners are gonna agree that shooting games, they might be fun, but they're not the end all be all of video games.
Yeah, we more than showed this when we presented ourselves in the last podcast.
Exactly.
Go watch it.
And if you haven't listened to it, make sure to listen to the first episode of our podcast.
Yeah, you will know our tastes that are mostly RPGs.
Yep.
And yeah, we usually like the story part of the gaming. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it too much. Next.
At our Paranda also left us a quickie saying 2D games are better than 3D games.
Ooh, no. No. I disagree with you, but not because one is better than the other. It's because this comparison is not fair in the first place. You just cannot compare both.
I know, right?
You can give a 2D game with a great story, and you can give a 3D game with also a great story. If the thing is not if it's 2D or 3D, that's not the point, and this shouldn't be even an opinion.
Well,
what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you, Serena? The Aries. Okay, guys, you're gonna have to get used to this energy we have on Aries here.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend. It's just the way
This
it
is a safe space for everyone. What's wrong with you?
I was joking. Okay, I was
We know. But like, if you said that to me like some years ago, I would agree because I'm an artist. I'm an illustrator. I'm from the 2D world. So I have a bias towards 2D. I love sprite art, pixel art, animation, like Odin Sphere. Oh my god. That's like my knees weak, arms spaghetti. I love that, but 3D today, it's getting to that artsy level sometimes where I get that same pleasing feeling that I would only get with 2D games, because goddamn, a lot of 3D graphics from I don't know, the PlayStation 2 era, or maybe some 3D indies from like the depths of the Steam store. Even though they're 3D, it's like horrid, you know, it's just bad. But I guess 2D games can look awful as well.
Oh yeah, just watch Angry Video Game Nerd and you will see. The shit games that can exist in the 2D world. And also in the 3D world, there is that tiger game that was released, I think, last year. I don't remember. The Black Tiger game. Do you know what I'm talking about? Did you
control a tiger?
Yes, and it's
really
no, I can't. I could not believe that game was released for PlayStation 4. It's unbelievable. That thing is whoa.
I think you know what.
No.
We're gonna have to watch that one later. I'll show a clip of this game in the podcast video if you guys are watching.
Yeah.
Next. Well, since we are already debating all of these new ones when it comes to evaluating a game's quality, at Gem Jelly, left us a comment saying there is no such thing as a bad or good game because no one game can appeal to every demographic.
What? There's not the thing like bad or good game? No, that's not how things work, bro. The game that we just mentioned is shit. Go play it and tell me that one person, found that shit good. Please go and I'll say it again. Go watch Angry Video Game Nerd and tell this to my face that Hong Kong 1997 is a good game. I dare you. I double dare you. I'll double dog dare you.
You what?
That's what I have to say. Yeah, there is a good game. There is such a thing as a good game. There is such a thing as a bad game. And I understand what you said, that it's not. Some games you will not please everybody. Yes, but some games are good, and not
some are bad.
Will agree with that. Yeah.
But the thing is, here's my tidbit. Here's my 50 cents on this. It's okay to like a game that's bad.
Yeah, totally.
Because here's the thing, I feel like a lot of times when people say, oh, there's no such thing as a good or bad movie or music or a game, it's because they're trying to validate whatever thing that they're probably being told that it's bad and still they like it. But you would be so much freed if you finally went like, yes, it is trash and I love it. Because it's okay, we all have guilty pleasures. We don't have to be always at the epicenter of good taste, you know? Especially because good taste is also very debatable, but like, there are games that are just unplayable. It's not even a thing of like subjective analysis. They're just insufferable, you know? So I have to say, there is such a thing as a bad game. There is such a thing as bad music. There is such a thing as a bad movie and a bad book. But it's okay to like those things. I love so much shit precisely because it's awful and bad. It's like, have you ever watched reality TV? Most of it is awful
Trash.
and abusive and toxic and useless content, but like I love it.
Yeah, I love reality TV because my brain just shuts down and I can just enjoy stupidity.
Exactly, or like bad. Oh my god, I love a bad book, and just
It's because you
going
watch those
off
things.
on it. Yeah, I love like a good bad book review because it makes me feel good about my writing. And there's some really bad books out there, believe me, goddamn. Anyways.
Yeah, what's the name of the channel that you used to watch?
Yeah,
Do you
Jenna
remember?
Nicholson covers. She's like one of the most popular book reviewers out there. But like I follow at least a handful of ones of book reviewers from all sorts of spheres. But anyway, at the Big Stink. Okay, at the Big Stink left us, the golden era of gaming was the PlayStation 2/Xbox generation. Graphics were improved tenfold, but gameplay itself hasn't thrived since, in mainstream games at least. Indie is still rocking.
I agree. I think I agree with them because I'm from this generation that saw the PlayStation 2 coming and hitting hard. All of us with their great games, and also the revolution between the spike of graphic quality from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 2 was amazing. It was mind blowing for us who saw that. But I'm biased because I am from that time. I experienced that, and I agree with this person that PlayStation 2 was whoa, and it was in everyone's house. Everyone had a PlayStation 2. Everyone we're talking about San Andreas, GTA San Andreas. Everyone.
It was either that or
amazing.
Devil May Cry or Final Fantasy X. Or Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes.
You were on one of those.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I have to agree. From the PlayStation 1, right? Just going from the Super Nintendo to the PlayStation 1 was kind of like, whoa, okay, the evolution of games. No more of that pixel-based stuff. We are getting 3D. But then PlayStation 2, Xbox came around and they were like, oh my god, this is not that blocky thing anymore. They're starting to look like actual people. This is not. I think what I'm trying to say is just like, I remember distinctively around the PlayStation 2 launch, me walking around a shopping mall and seeing a PlayStation 2 display on a gaming store, playing the opening sequence for Final Fantasy X.
Ooh,
and
that is impressive.
Yes, and there was this realization of like, whoa, this is not just video game anymore. It's just not like gamey anymore. I'm actually, I'm in control of a full narrative experience now. It's not just gamey. Now the gameplay is
It didn't feel like a toy anymore.
Exactly. It feel like the gameplay was just a part of this grand experience. It's just not like Super Mario, like where you're clearing stages by jumping on the bad guys, or soccer race, whatever. What else would you have? Metal Slug, like shooting at the thingy, jumping in the thingy. And yes, we did have RPGs. We did have like Chrono Trigger right there, making history. But even playing Chrono Trigger and grinding, it's still like you were very so aware that you were playing a video game. But then Final Fantasy X, it's like, whoa, this is like a movie. Like it's more than just a game. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think this is so relatable for the younger people listening to this, because y'all have been getting games that feel like fully fledged, realized narrative experiences since you're all babies. We had to start with like ping pong and Tetris and some
Pong.
Yeah, Pong. Yeah. So.
What you meant is like it's more immersive now, a lot more immersive. Back in the day, you had to use a lot of your imagination to actually get into the story. Like in the first Zelda, I never played it actually, the first Zelda, but it was still a great RPG. But you had to use a lot of your imagination to transport into that world. And when Breath of the Wild was released, people who played the first one back in the day, they said that this was what I always imagined that a Zelda world would be.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild. Love that. But yeah, just to wrap this hot take, because of all of that jumps that games have, the consoles generations have made, it does feel like since the PlayStation 2, all we've done was kind of polish whatever we planted, and we're still waiting this new mind-blowing revolution in games, which I still don't think is coming in the PlayStation 5. I still think we're just getting like a buffed up, polished version of what we've been doing all along. I think 3D tried to be that revolution, and then virtual reality, like the headsets, are trying to be that revolution, but still the technology is not as accessible as it needs to be to really explode and become the new norm. So who knows what's the next big thing is gonna be. It does make me curious. At AdGuy19 says, Happy Halloween, PPMac. Also, this is more of a me thing than anything, honestly, but for me, Doom 2016 was kind of boring at parts. Didn't enjoy it as much as other people apparently did. I personally I have never touched Doom since the dawn of its existence. Too scary for me, no thanks. Also very macho, gory violence for me too. Not my thing. But that sounds like an unpopular opinion, because everything I've heard from Doom 2016 is that it was amazing and the gameplay was so fluid and it was addictive, and oh my god, this game is great. I was really wondering, like, wow, you would see it as background footage on every commentator channel. It was so, yeah, I guess that is an unpopular opinion. I wish you had elaborated more, because now I want to know why it didn't fly as much, but apparently it got boring.
It seems like it's just this person felt bored with the game, and maybe this person got into the game expecting a lot because everybody was talking and buzzing about and so hyped about this game. And I don't know if the person played the other Dooms. Oh yeah, and I have a fun fact about Doom. I thought Doom and Duke Nukem were the same.
The same game. Yeah, I don't blame you for that. I don't blame you for that.
Yes. Sorry if I offended everybody.
I think that's a fair assessment for most people. It's just Doom is just the hell version of whatever Duke Nukem is. Such macho military fantasy, I don't know. But
yeah, not my kind of thing either.
And lastly, at Viz90210. Oh, 90210. Is that a thing from a series, a TV series? Like.
Yes, it's a postal code in LA, I think. No, in Beverly Hills.
Vic91210 says, "Hope I'm not too late. I think I have an unpopular opinion when it comes to judging games in a series. I think games should be judged individually. Just because they tried new mechanics in a new game does not mean it's bad. It can be, but that should be judged on its own." I think what they mean is, as if in supposedly Mass Effect 3, when we're talking about Mass Effect as the franchise, it should be a different discussion than picking apart every single title of the Chronicle, because maybe just because one title did something that wasn't so good, it should be observed individually, but not to the detriment of the entire franchise.
I guess I didn't quite understand either. Well, I understand that this person wants each game title to be judged individually, but how can you judge individually? For example, let's take Pedro's example, Mass Effect Andromeda. How can you take it apart from the Mass Effect franchise? It's Mass Effect. It's one universe.
Exactly. But I think he says that it should be, just because Mass Andromeda is kind of floppy, it doesn't mean that Mass Effect is floppy.
Yeah. No, so then I agree, 100%.
Yes. In that aspect, I also agree.
Yeah, you play Mass Effect Andromeda. I played it, and I actually found okay. That's my unpopular opinion.
We found it Sabrina's unpopular opinion. She doesn't think Andromeda is that bad.
I am a big ass fan. It's actually one of my favorite franchises in the whole gaming industry. It's Mass Effect. I think it's amazing. But Andromeda, yes, fell behind, and I wish I hadn't listened so much about. I hadn't read so much about it back in the day and played Andromeda without paying attention to the criticisms and see how much I would enjoy it myself. And that's one thing that, like, a tip I give to the young uns. Yes, read about the game, but don't read too much when it's getting too fuss about it, because that can ruin your experience with the game. And sometimes there is a chance you would have liked it. I wish I did that back in the day. Andromeda is a really lower quality, character-wise, story-wise, world-wise, for many reasons, compared to the rest of the franchise, but still not that bad. I didn't feel like I was wasting my time, but I still feel like the game could have been a lot more, but it's not even close to what the rest of the franchise is, and I still love it. I still love every single one of the Mass Effects. Also, Dragon Age franchise, Dragon Age 2, you don't even hear about that game much. It has a lot of flaws, but I enjoyed it 2 bits. And my first crush in the gaming, in my gaming life, was from that game.
We hear all about it in the first episode of our podcast.
Yes.
And that was the last hot take for this podcast. If you dropped your hot take in the thread that I posted on Twitter, don't be upset, my dear friend. We will have many more podcasts to come. You can leave your hot take in the comment section also of this podcast video. We might be reading it on the opening of our next episode. So it's just for the sake of this podcast not being 3 hours long. We already appreciate you so much for listening for as long as you did. But before we go just yet, we have some little tidbits of gaming news to go over with you guys, so let's get down to it. First of all, you probably heard it already. It's Cyberpunk news is only in December. If you were itching, craving, dying, crying, squirming to play some Cyberpunk, this is probably very bad news. But, you know, as someone who is Final Fantasy and Animal Crossing fan, I can wait a month. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I wasn't excited at all about the game, and then we watched that a little of what will be in the game, a video from Game Ranks, and I started falling in love with this game. That I started thinking, I want to play it, and I was kind of bummed by the delay again, but it is what it is. I prefer delaying a little bit and get the finished product, and a good product. They say that the game is finished. You can play from start to end as it is, but they are tweaking some stuff, and I trust them, and I hope it's gonna be released finally.
Tweaking as in like
December.
A first day patch kind of scenario?
Yeah.
So they have gone gold. They have gone gold. The game is done.
Yes. They gone gold.
Nice.
Yeah. The game is there.
Nice.
It's just like last tweaks that they need to do to make it spot on.
Yes, of course. I as well. I understand the pain of having a game that you've been looking for, especially for long periods of time, being delayed. But I don't mind also. I do believe that more time makes a better product. But there's like, of course, the question of I would be how do I even approach this? And on top of the delay itself, news have been reporting that even though the Cyberpunk and the company, what's it called again, Sabrina? Red Project? CD Project. Even though they've said that they would not crunch their workers, that is exactly what is happening. So, can we just stop?
CD Projekt Red, yeah.
Yeah, can we just start treating our workers as people? Thank you. Next. Kitty A released a new music video for the track More. We've been listening to it. I'm addicted to it. It's on loop. It's playing the 1 hour version on YouTube.
Really?
Dancing on the shower to it every day. Yes, I love it. I wish I could sing in Korean and Chinese so I can sing the lyrics. I barely can keep up with the English parts, but yeah, I love it. There is some what's the word? Not conspiracy. There's some controversy around around Seraphine joining the KDA group. A lot of people were already comfortable with the 4 members that we had. Didn't really feel like we needed a 5th one.
Most people, I believe.
Yeah, I have nothing personal against Seraphine. I can appreciate her in whatever she brought in the new music video. Not gonna say I wouldn't die if she just never happened. Like I'm fine also. I think the 4 of them are very iconic, and I do feel like if you keep adding new members, you're gonna take attention away from these 4 ones that we got. And also there's some controversy. I'm not the biggest person when it comes to League of Legends lore, so excuse me if I get anything wrong. Feel free to correct me on the comment section, please do. But from what I get, Seraphine was a character that was included in the world's lore after the success of KDA's debut. and with the whole context of her being a social media present character, that means in real life, like you could go to Twitter or Instagram and catch up with this LOL world verse character, and she's a singer, right? So there's the entire debate on top of like, was she created exclusively so she could be a part of the KDA verse, right? Because it's very fishy that you have these four characters that are not related whatsoever to singing being included in this pop star verse, and then after their success, LOL or Riot goes out of their way to create this singer character. And there's also a part of the discussion, the controversy, which is that she sings in Chinese, and that may be not precisely welcomed in the K-pop scenario, maybe inconsiderate, maybe I don't know, an oversight, maybe even offensive and problematic. What do you guys think? I personally don't see the problem. I think it's beautiful. I think the more different languages they could include in a lyric that's bopping and catchy, the better. It's all about the unity, the inclusion, the celebrating the beauty in all of these languages and the phonetics that all of them have to offer. Because the song itself, it slaps. It sounds really nice. When you listen to it, I don't understand what they're saying, but it sounds like it should be sounding like that because it's perfect to the beat. You know what I'm saying? So I, as someone who never even played a single match of League of Legends, have seen no problem with Seraphine and her inclusion, but a part of me would be happy if whenever they drop the new KDA music video, Seraphine is just not there. I would be fine if she had like a guest appearance, but is not a permanent KDA member. And if she is, and if
KDA.
if adding new characters to KDA is to be a thing, and if we are about to break the K-pop formula by introducing a character that sings in Chinese, I say we need whatever new members we're gonna get, it needs to bring some melanin into this game, because it's starting to look, a little too
Caucasian.
Yeah, and I know I think all of KDA members are not Caucasian. They're like they're inspired from Asian ethnicities, but it's just like the melanin is still lacking. That's my point. I wouldn't mind someone with a little more color. I again, I'm not versed in the League of Legends universe. I don't even know how many female dark-skinned characters are there. But I mean, I'm sure at least one, right? Oh.
Probably they have all sorts of characters there. They have monsters. I don't know. What I have to say about this video clip is that I prefer the first one. I think the first one, the song is catchier, and the video clip itself, I like it better. But the second one, it looks like they put a lot more budget on that thing. I couldn't care less about the new character arriving. It's fine for me. And about her, it's because I don't follow the whole LOL lore. I don't play the game, so for me, the KDA thing is just KDA thing. It's not attached to a game, and I think they nailed it. Like, you don't even need to play the game to enjoy those video clips. Both are great, but the first still my favorite. And the new character singing in Chinese, fine by me too. I don't mind, but I think I disagree with that part where you said, Pedro, oh, just put as many as you can. I think it would sound a little bit too confusing unless the song theme is to show a lot of languages. But fine by me. If it sounds good, great. If it has a nice video clip, great. That's the kind of thing I enjoy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good art is good art, and that's on period. And speaking of that's on period, I think that's gonna wrap up our episode for today.
Woohoo!
Thank you so much for
finished.
listening, for sticking around as long as you did, for participating in the comments, and
Thank you.
thank you. Again, we do have a Patreon. Subscribers are gonna get all sorts of prizes, such as your name in the credits, early access, voting rights in polls, deciding future subjects, and involvement in all of our projects. And I'm sure we're gonna, along the way, think of new fun rewards for all of you lovely listeners out there indulging us in this passion project. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And with that, I bid you adieu. Stay safe, drink water, wear a mask, wash your hands, all of that good stuff.
And play games.
And play lots of games. See you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Bloopers. And we're gonna take this. Okay, Michael. At guy 19 at let me try that again. At Viz 19 to wow, that's a lot of numbers. Okay. At Absent at.
I know one unpopular opinion. The Avatar game film based on Avatar: The Last Airbender is good.
Yeah, that really is the most unpopular opinion you could have. Congrats. You win this game, Sabrina. Oh my god. Oh
no,
my
but
god.
actually it's not my opinion.
Of course it isn't. This podcast is over. We're cancelled.
I'm gonna